Tonight on CTV News, more trade trouble for BC.
This threat is a direct threat to the livelihood, to the existence of mills in every corner of British Columbia.
Another tariff on Canadian lumber exports now in effect, with thousands of jobs at risk. The Premier urges Ottawa to help workers.
Everybody's scared, especially children. It's not a good situation.
The latest extortion shooting in Surrey takes a terrifying turn. A woman shot while sleeping. We'll have the latest on her condition.
You don't have to be within the unit during those rentals.
Growing interest in cashing in on the World Cup. The city's encouraging people to list their home as short-term rentals, but there is a cost.
This is CTV News with Mi Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The fear that someone would get hurt by extortion shootings has now become reality. The latest barrage of bullets seriously injured a young woman who was sleeping. She remains in hospital while police try to track down the people responsible for this latest violence that has a community on edge. CTV's Ben Nesbitt joins us live from the scene of the shooting in the 13,000 block of 103A Avenue. Ben, what's the latest?
Well, we spoke to police Sunday morning when this first happened. They said they weren't ready at that point to call this an extortion attempt. This morning, it's a new story. They're saying there were at least 12 people inside of that home when a vehicle rolled up and multiple shooters got out and unleashed fire.
While she lay sound asleep inside this Surrey home, a young woman found herself suddenly fighting for her life after police say suspects fired a flurry of gunshots at the property.
A bullet went through an exterior wall and unfortunately and tragically hit them.
I just hear a sound, gunshot sounds, around 7 or 8.
The woman was taken to hospital in critical condition, but police say she's now in serious but stable condition. SBS does not believe she or any of the other people inside were the intended targets, but potentially just renters caught up in the middle.
We've seen a number of incidents this year with some of the extortion incidents where owners of either houses that are rented out or business owners are the intended targets themselves. And so that's what we're looking at right now.
SBS says there's now been more than 55 suspected extortion attempts this year in that city. More than 30 of those involved gunfire. Last week, several arrests were made in relation to some of those incidents, but the mayor says this is an issue stretching well beyond our borders.
This is transnational crime. These are transnational gangs. These are international gangs that are in our city, and certainly Surrey is feeling the brunt of it.
Everybody's scared, especially children. It's not a good situation in such a beautiful country, Canada.
No arrests have been made in this incident. Police are asking anyone who may have been in the area, might have heard something, saw something, or has dash cam or home security footage to reach out, contact them. Mi Jung.
Thank you, Ben. Vancouver police are investigating an afternoon crash after a woman pushing a stroller was struck by a vehicle in the west side of the city. CTV's Craig Krause is following this in the Breaking News Center. Craig, what have we learned about this incident?
Well, Mi Jung, details are limited at this point, but what we do know is that the woman is said to have been pushing a stroller with a child inside and was rushed to hospital early this afternoon after being struck by a vehicle near West 16th and Willow Street. So first responders tell us that they responded at around 12:30. We're told the woman's injuries appear to be serious. As for the child, they were also taken to hospital for precautionary reasons. BC Emergency Health Services told CTV News it sent 2 ambulances with advanced care paramedics. Whether the driver remained at the scene, though, that remains unclear, and we are working to find out more details and information about this incident. The area, though, has since reopened to traffic. Mi Jung?
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah.
A woman has been charged after a series of random stabbings that sent shockwaves through Yaletown last week. Officers took a 35-year-old into custody in the downtown east side yesterday. Tamara Hamlin has now been charged with 1 count of assault. The stabbings happened Friday morning along the seawall near David Lamb Park. Police say there were at least 7 victims, 4 suffering stab wounds. On Saturday, VPD released images of the suspect saying identifying and arresting the woman was their highest priority. Hamlin remains in custody. Facing escalating tariffs, BC's Premier was joined by forestry industry leaders from across the province today, making a plea to Ottawa. They want the feds to step up support for the struggling sector. CTV's Rob Buffum has more.
Facing escalating tariffs from the U.S. on softwood lumber, Premier Eby made a plea to Ottawa to step up its support.
There is no time to wait. Jobs and mills are on the line.
10% tariffs applied Tuesday on top of existing 35% duties create 45% levies that pose an existential threat, says Eby, who's frustrated other sectors, including steel, aluminum, and energy, gained more attention when Prime Minister Carney visited President Trump last week.
Canadian wood has a higher tariff rate going to the United States than Russia does.
Certain wood products, including furniture and kitchen cabinets, are also now being hammered with 25% tariffs set to climb to 50% by the new year.
This industry cannot and will not be forgotten. We will not let it be forgotten. We will not let the workers be forgotten.
Carney announced in August, while at a mill in Kelowna, $1.2 billion in relief for the struggling sector. Money for loan guarantees, diversification, and new product development that's yet to materialize.
We're scared we're going to be left aside, and that is the real emotion about what's going on today.
Fighting that fear, Eby was joined by industry leaders amplifying the urgency of the call for federal help.
Feeling like nobody has their back in this situation that we're in right now.
The province wants to see the $1 billion plus in relief delivered right away, plus steps like streamlining unemployment insurance for mill workers. But Forestry Minister Ravi Parmar also had a direct message to the U.S. President.
God damn it, Trump. Come to your senses. That's the message that we are relaying.
As a key component of BC's economy, the second biggest exporter of softwood lumber in the world faces the full force of the trade war.
And Rob joins us live from Victoria. Rob, I understand Premier Eby has reached out directly to Prime Minister Carney on this front.
That's right, Mi Jung. On Friday, David Eby sent a letter to Prime Minister Carney sending out his grievances and concerns that forestry was being overshadowed in this context. His office tells me this afternoon, as of yet, they've yet to have an official response. Mi Jung.
Okay, thank you, Rob.
Come on in.
Canada Post mail delivery resumes today, with workers returning to the job as the union shifts from a nationwide strike to rotating walkouts. The strike began September 25th, the second in less than a year after the federal government announced plans to restructure Canada Post, which is on track to lose $1.5 billion this year. The restructuring includes ending door-to-door delivery. Meanwhile, the strike involving more than 25,000 BC government employees is now in its 7th week, and with no talks scheduled, both sides are standing firm.
The leverage now, I think you're going to see, is the growing wave of concern and, frankly, anger from our membership towards their elected officials for, failing to come to the table, failing to solve this, failing to really recognize the reality that British Columbians that work face, and also just the actual impact of this many people being on strike to sink in.
The BCGEU's latest proposal calls for 4% per year wage hike over 2 years, which the union says would help address affordability challenges. The province argues that would still exceed inflation and add hundreds of millions of dollars to the payroll.
Taxpayers simply can't afford these massive demands from the union. 8% over 2 years is far more than taxpayers can afford when the province is drowning in debt with massive deficits and no indication of that changing anytime soon.
The government says its latest offer averages a 5% increase, with lower income workers seeing about 6.25%. But with both sides still far apart and neither moving back to the table, there's no sign the strike will end anytime soon. Let's take a live look at English Bay. Beautiful sunset, and the English Bay would have been a nice place to take a walk today with the sun out, a gorgeous day.
Yes, it was absolutely stunning. Blue skies and sunshine, a great way to work off all that turkey, all the food that you had yesterday for Thanksgiving. The sun will slowly set, and right now we're sitting at 13 degrees at the harbor, 14 in Burnaby, cooler in North Vancouver at 11 degrees. You're looking at 17 in Chilliwack right now. As we head through the overnight, clear and calm, a cool 6 degrees into tomorrow. We'll do it all over again, mostly sunny skies with a high of 14.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next vacation by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
And the work week is looking dry. I've got those details with your full forecast coming up.
A little chillier, though. You do feel
definitely.
that fall
We're near
coolness.
freezing overnight.
All right, thanks, Anne. On this very day, 2 years ago, Hazel Trembath Elementary burned to the ground. Almost immediately, the BC government promised to rebuild the school. Yet all this time later, not a single shovel has hit the ground. As St. John Alexander reports, parents are wondering what's taking so long.
731 days, and the debris is long gone, but otherwise absolutely no signs of progress. In fact, 104 weeks have gone by, and not a single plan has been approved.
We're rebuilding a school that was there, had no intentions of ever closing, and now is not there.
Puzzling for parents because minister after minister
rebuilding of the school, that there's a process that is going on,
have long said, don't worry, it's coming.
Hazel Trembath will be funded as part of Budget 2025.
Hazel Trembath was burned to the ground on October 14th, 2023. Deemed suspicious, the building could not be saved, and so some 200 students have been going to schools 20 minutes away. Their parents, promised to rebuild, have been holding rallies asking, what's the holdup?
We do feel like our voices are unheard. We'd like them to come down, tell it to us to our faces that they are working on this, because at this point, all we get is empty responses.
The mayor, who's losing track of how many letters he's written to the province, argues this isn't rocket science.
This is not like sending someone into outer space. This is a pretty basic function of government, to build schools.
The latest from the BC government is that plans have been submitted, and the next step is choosing the right one and approving the cost.
We feel confused. Like, why can't the government get it together?
Now, parents agree construction takes a long time, but it shouldn't take this long to get started. St. John Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
The federal government is putting more than $763 million into building 2 new rental towers with nearly 1,300 units in Burnaby. The towers will rise on a roughly 8-acre site across from Brentwood Mall. It's part of a massive redevelopment that will also include a new community center, public plaza, and hundreds of condos. The funding comes through the Apartment Construction Loan Program, launched in 2017 to boost rental supply as part of Canada's national housing strategy. SFU is now accepting applications for its new medical school. The first class of doctors will begin in August. There was more big news out of the Surrey campus today with the announcement that some 20,000 patients will be part of the rollout. Our Penny Daflos explains.
This is where Simon Fraser University's medical school is being built as part of a major development in Surrey. We now know a family medicine clinic will be part of it and accepting patients.
Citizens will inform how we teach. They will be real contributors, so they'll be part of the education process. Not only will they be receiving care, they'll be helping train our future physicians.
The new facility is slated to open by 2030, but the first class of medical students will start in August, and CTV News has learned
we're accepting BC residents only in our first cohort, as well as those from the Yukon and the territories.
Applications are now open, and there's already lots of interest.
I grew up here in Surrey. I've seen the opioid crisis here, the tent cities. Being able to be part of a group of students who will go into primary care is something really exciting for me.
To see it like literally across the street from everything, it's just so close by, and it's really a dream come true.
Sometimes you would have to travel outside, but I would rather want to stick to in BC and be around here and local.
That is exactly what the provincial government wants to see.
The new SFU School of Medicine is part of our plan for a resilient and sustainable primary care system, one that supports people today and will continue to serve our children and our grandchildren for years to come.
However, students will be in temporary classrooms for several years, and the first class is small.
There's been a tremendous amount of money and effort that's gone into planning this school, but 48 seats just doesn't even seem to be a drop in the bucket when it comes to our need for physicians.
They got to walk before they run. They got 48 students in the first year. It's going to get up to 120 students by the time the school is fully subscribed. But that's not an insignificant number of doctors. Each of those doctors will accept more than 1,000 patients in the community.
As well as the rest of the province, with our population growing every year. Penny Dufflaw, CTV News, Surrey.
With World Cup demand, the city of Vancouver is encouraging residents to post their homes for short-term rentals. Is it worth it? And an unhappy Thanksgiving for Blue Jays fans. A series shifts to Seattle. Will BC fans be crossing the border to catch some of the action? When CTV News at 6 continues. Stay with us. Have a news tip, video, or photos of breaking news from your screen to ours when you see it happen? Send it to CTV News. Email us at vantips@ctv.ca or text 10400. Science World is set to host a traveling exhibition from the FIFA Museum just in time for Vancouver's turn on the World Cup stage.
From May 15th to September 7th, 2026, Soccer and Technology from the FIFA Museum will take visitors from the pitch to the broadcast booth.
The exhibit will open at Science World on May 15th, marking its North American debut. It explores how innovation is changing the game, from smart data and refereeing tech to broadcasting and stadium design. The exhibit is backed by the province and follows the launch of another FIFA-inspired exhibit, The Science of Sport, which will tour over 100 schools across BC this school year. And more people are seeing dollar signs when it comes to World Cup fans. With hotel spaces tight, the city says more people are expressing interest in renting out their homes to fans. CTV's Shannon Patterson reports on the cost of doing that.
When tournament staff and tourists converge on Vancouver for the World Cup next June and July, they will all need somewhere to stay.
You know, it's definitely a good opportunity for folks to consider sharing their home.
With hotel space at a premium during the nearly month-long event, the city is encouraging Vancouverites to look into listing their primary residences on short-term rental sites like Airbnb.
The basic rule is that if you live there, you can rent it. If you're a renter, you need your landlord's permission, and if you're in a strata building, then you need your strata's permission as well.
Residents can even leave town during the World Cup and rent out their entire place.
We don't have specific limits on the number of nights that you can rent your place out. Ultimately, it still has to be your principal residence. So if you're living there and taking a vacation, that absolutely works within the program.
There is an upfront cost. Hosts will need provincial and municipal licenses, even if they only want to rent their place out during the World Cup. The City of Vancouver charges $1,060 a year plus a $74 registration fee.
Our fees are prorated based off the time that you purchase your license. So if somebody's purchasing their license in April, they're not going to be paying the entire year's fee.
But if hosts wait until next May or June to save on licensing fees, they risk missing out on World Cup visitors who book further in advance. And the promise of easy money will likely attract scammers.
I think there's always some bad actors who try to take advantage of these types of situations.
CTV News has been investigating fake long-term tenants who illegally list furnished downtown condos on short-term rental sites, a fraud that will likely be even more profitable during the World Cup.
Really important in these circumstances where, you know, watching your stories where landlords are finding their units online and they haven't provided permission is to give us a call. We can get into those listings and work on that compliance right away.
There is pressure to ensure the system works because if not enough residents rent out their homes, an accommodation shortage could hurt the city's reputation when it once again welcomes the world. Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Whenever the Toronto Blue Jays play in Seattle, thousands of Canadians make the trip down the I-5 to catch the games. But fans will have to shell out a lot more money than usual if they want to be in the ballpark for this week's American League Championship Series between the Jays and the Mariners. CTV's Ben Milger has the story.
The Blue Jays feel right at home in Seattle's T-Mobile Park, thanks to the support of Canadian fans who make the trip from British Columbia.
590, that's down the first baseline, 590.
With the Jays and Mariners competing for a spot in the World Series, demand for tickets has skyrocketed, along with the prices.
As soon as they knew that they were going up against Seattle, my phone messages were inundated with people wanting to get tickets for the Jays.
On Tuesday afternoon, the cheapest ticket for Game 3 was $266 Canadian dollars on StubHub. A spot in a suite behind home plate for Friday's potential Game 5 is listed for over $4,000. Prices and politics could determine the size of the Canadian crowd.
Yes, but not as big as it used to be because of the American stuff. Like, I'm not going there, period. So I'm not going to see the games.
Seattle, leading 2-0, can reach their first ever World Series with 2 more victories.
Do you anticipate that there will be a lot of Canadian fans who manage to get tickets for tomorrow night's game?
I don't think it'll happen this time. I think Seattleites will buy up the tickets and outsell the Toronto fans.
Ticket broker Kingsley Bailey says demand on the Canadian side has dipped since the Jays dropped the first 2 games. But if they win one of the next 2, he expects prices to soar for Game 5.
Seattle hasn't gone to the playoffs for such a long time, so there's such a demand for that. And then you throw that into the fact that they're going up against a Canadian team and everybody's going to go down the I-5 to catch a game. So the demand is huge for tickets.
The Jays will be looking to extend the series and get home to the real friendly confines of the Rogers Centre for Games 6 and 7. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has recalled more raw pistachios sold in BC. It says the product by IND Foods was recalled due to possible salmonella contamination. The agency says the pistachios in question were sold between July 31st and October 12th at Sabzi Mandi Supermarket in Burnaby. This follows a recall last week of pistachios from Kuroshi Foods in North Vancouver. In the latest recall, the CFIA says people should not consume, sell, or serve any recalled products. Anyone who believes they got sick should contact a healthcare provider. All 20 living hostages have been returned to Israel in a peace deal brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump. Some families, though, are still waiting.
Learning we're only getting 4 of them was a big kick in the stomach.
Hamas has returned the bodies of 4 hostages. Concerns about the delay in returning the remaining 24. How long will the truce hold? That's ahead. Some ferry delays are worth it. Passengers heading into Horseshoe Bay were treated to a humpback whale show right in the harbor. That's ahead. The ceasefire in Gaza is holding, but there is uncertainty over next steps as Hamas has yet to deliver the remains of 24 hostages. U.S. President Donald Trump says the focus now is to provide food and medicine and rebuild the beleaguered enclave. CTV's Heather Wright has the story.
An emotional and painful homecoming as the remains of 4 deceased hostages arrive at the Forensic Institute for Identification in Tel Aviv.
Learning we're only getting 4 of them was a big kick in the stomach.
Rotem Cooper's father, Amiram, was 85 years old when he was kidnapped from Kibbutz Nir Oz on October 7th. He was killed in captivity. His body is still in Gaza. Families were aware that all 28 deceased hostages would not be returned yesterday, but they hoped they would be able to give more proper burials.
It's very clear that Hamas is playing games, that Hamas is not really cooperating, is not really in good faith.
Hamas has said it will take time to find all the bodies as they aren't sure where they are all located. Late tonight, Israel announced Hamas would release more remains. Their identities not yet known. In response to the delay, Israel said today it will delay the reopening of the Rafah border crossing into Gaza and reduce the amount of aid allowed in. By how much and for how long is not clear. In Gaza City, bulldozers cleared piles of rubble today, a first step in allowing people to return. But with limited equipment and an estimated 84% of the enclave destroyed, according to the UN, it will be a lengthy process.
We don't have enough equipment, enough loaders or bulldozers to carry out this work.
As Gaza begins to rebuild, questions remain about the durability of this ceasefire and the future of the enclave where Hamas has been trying to reassert itself in recent days. This video, reportedly taken in Gaza City, shows Hamas fighters rounding up several men in a circle and shooting them.
The bottom line is this really a peace deal, or is this only a hostage release deal plus a temporary ceasefire? It's still unclear, but I'm fearful that it's more the latter than the former.
Today, the United Nations put a price tag on how much it will cost to rebuild the enclave. $70 billion, with at least $20 billion needed over the next 3 years.
To some movement now on the strained diplomatic ties between Canada and India. This, according to Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister.
We are building back to a complement of Canadian diplomats across the country. Very much.
Anita Anand is in India to meet with government officials and says the diplomatic presence needs to be restored before trade talks can be revived. Anand has also met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on this trip. The countries have previously expelled each other's diplomats after Canada accused India of playing a role in the assassination of Sikh activist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. An unusual drug bust, a massive seizure of thousands of poppy plants being grown to turn into opioids. Also tonight, passwords and credit card information exposed. Canadian Tire reveals a data breach but says compromised customer accounts are still safe. That's next.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Wake up and start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could be $20,000 richer. Simply watch CTV Your Morning Vancouver for the hourly code word. Then enter it online at ctvvancouver.ca for your chance to win. Imagine what you could do with an extra $20,000. CTV Your Morning's $20,000 giveaway. Watch CTV Your Morning Vancouver, weekday morning 6 to 9.
Edmonton police have charged 4 people after they raided an opium poppy plant operation. The large crop was growing behind a home on the northeast edge of the city. Police seized and destroyed 60,000 plants worth somewhere between $160,000 and $500,000. 4 men have been arrested and charged with production of a controlled substance. Investigators say the poppies were being turned into a pain-relieving tea powder and being sold illegally.
Opium poppies, they can be used to produce a number of substances with significant analgesic effects to them, such as heroin and morphine and other such opioids.
It is the second largest opium poppy bust in Canadian history, the largest taking place in Chilliwack back in 2010. Halloween's top costumes for 2025 have been revealed. Number 1 this year for kids' costumes, Spider-Man. This is according to an annual consumer survey. In the U.S. alone, more than 2 million kids plan to dress up as Spider-Man this year. Second on the list this year is Princess. Number 3 is another old standard, a witch. Then Ghost comes in at number 4. By the way, Anne, the most popular dog Halloween costume this year, it's a pumpkin.
Aw, that's adorable.
Yeah, I'm surprised K-pop Demon Hunters is not on this list. I think Lucy should dress up as a K-pop Demon Hunter.
Well, unfortunately for you, she already has her Halloween costume already picked, ready to go. So we just have to wait a couple of weeks for the big reveal.
Yeah, you have to be organized. You can't wait till October, right?
No, exactly. Well, it is October. We can't wait till the end of October anyways. We are at the midway mark of the month, October 14th today, and this is how we fared. Taking a look at our almanac, a high of 12.8 degrees below the seasonal average of 13.5, and it was a cold night last night, dropping down to 0.4 degrees, seasonal average at 7 degrees, and with the rainfall through the weekend, we are at 25.9 millimeters of rain, still a far ways to go to reach that monthly average of 123.7 millimeters, and it's not like we're going to see rain for the next few days, all thanks to this ridge of high pressure that is dominating the whole province, keeping keeping things nice and dry. For our weather tracker, a few scattered showers expected for the north coast this evening, drying up through the overnight. And as we take a look down towards us on the south coast and central coast, as well as the central and southern interior, a dry start to the day, and it continues to look nice and bright as we head into the afternoon hours and evening hours tomorrow as well. So lots of sunshine in store for the southern interior as well as the central interior. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. You're looking at mostly cloudy skies to report Hardy tomorrow with a high of 11 degrees. Blue skies, sunshine, temperatures between 14 and 15 for Campbell River and Comox. Lots of sunshine as well for the South Island from Tofino right down to Victoria with temperatures between 14 and 18 degrees. Sunny skies once again for the Sunshine Coast with a high of 14. Warmer up the Sea to Sky Highway, 17 degrees for Whistler and Squamish, and for us across the Lower Mainland, mostly sunny skies, 14 degrees near the water, 16 degrees further inland. It does cloud over on Thursday, but then clears up once again on Friday, and then the rain returns on Saturday, cooling down to 11 degrees with a few lingering scattered showers on Sunday and a few breaks in there as well. And then it clears up on Monday, 12 degrees with sunshine to start off the day on Tuesday before clouding over through the afternoon and highs to 12 as well. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So a dry work week ahead, but then, get your umbrellas handy once again for the weekend.
Yeah, the sunshine can be a little bit deceptive.
Yes.
Because you think, oh, it's going to be warm, but I saw some people looking kind of chilly on the patios
Lots
outside.
of puffer coats, and I actually saw people wearing mitts today.
It's starting. Yeah. All right, thanks, Anne. Tapping into artificial intelligence to organize your holiday shopping. A new study finds 1 in 4 shoppers plan to use AI to hunt for deals. We explain.
Let's be real, anyone can lie about their age online.
What Instagram is doing to protect teens. How will a PG-13 content filter work? That's ahead. Today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 71 cents to the American dollar. Oil was down 79 cents, closing the day at $58.70 US a barrel. Gold gained more than $30 on the day. The TSX and the Dow Jones both made gains on the day, up 502 points and 202 points respectively. Canadian Tire says some customer information was involved in a recent data breach. The retailer says the breached information belongs to shoppers who had an e-commerce account with Canadian Tire or its other banners, including Sport Chek, Marks, and Party City. The data included names, email addresses, and in some cases, incomplete credit card numbers. The company says the information is not enough to access accounts and make purchases. The vulnerability was first identified October 2nd, and the company says it's working with experts to enhance its security. As the holiday shopping season kicks into gear, more Canadians say they are turning to artificial intelligence to help them get it all done. Deloitte's new holiday retail outlook found half of those surveyed have used AI in the past 3 months, and about 1 in 4 say they plan to use AI tools this holiday season. But whether it's online or in person, one thing that hasn't changed is most consumers are still chasing discounts. Despite the numbers, the survey also found only 17% fully trust AI and 70% worry about how much personal information it collects.
I'm not big on artificial intelligence because it drives me crazy that Big Brother is watching everything you might search.
I get it to help me because I have 4 kids, so it makes it easier to get ChatGPT to help me organize it. I do ask where to go.
We'll be at the kitchen table, we'll talk about something we're looking at getting, and then all of a sudden the next day something pops up, so obviously it's a little bit spooky.
Deloitte says on average 1 in 4 shoppers now expect retailers to use AI, but earning their trust could be the biggest deal of all. Meta, the parent company of Instagram, is making major changes in an effort to protect teens. A new policy means users under 18 will only be able to view PG-13 content. CTV's Dave Charbonneau has more on the new measures and reaction from teens and parents.
Tori Beaumont knows how easy it is to get drawn into Instagram.
There's a lot of content on Instagram that's unregulated.
For her, the constant stream of videos and photos can sometimes be too much.
I've seen a lot of really gory stuff on there, some very explicit things on there. It's very good that I feel like they're cracking down on that sort of censorship.
Now, Meta says it's limiting teen accounts to PG-13 content by default and requiring parents to approve any changes. The new system is designed to be easy for parents to understand.
We're doing this to really speak the language of parents who are much more familiar with movie ratings in terms of kind of a familiar model for those who are using Instagram.
It's stuff like this, just any type of killing, anything.
But 17-year-old Bahir Zai says he still has access to mature content.
It does give you a warning saying it does have violence or something, and you could either click CY or you can click just to see the post.
Most kids are just scrolling through reels and stuff like that. I feel like it's a good feature to stop kids from seeing things they're not meant to see yet.
Some parents are already taking steps to filter what their kids see.
When I made the accounts for my kids, I put their ages in, and I made sure that everything was tied into what they were doing, and I went to my account to filter it all out.
One technology expert says the new measures may not catch every case.
They will start using artificial intelligence to determine if a child is being truthful or is lying about their age. But again, that technology, not 100% perfect. There's still a lot of kids slipping through the cracks.
I have a little reservation about AI being used to try and determine the age of my kids, because it could actually, people who are old enough get scanned young, and it could cause all sorts of problems.
And even teens like Tori Beaumont say the system won't be perfect.
I think it's good that they're trying to put age verification things in place, but I don't think that it's going to work, because let's be real, anyone can lie about their age online.
Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Sad news from the world of R&B as singer D'Angelo has died.
Send it up, send it. Send it back to you.
The singer's family confirmed he passed away today after a battle with pancreatic cancer. D'Angelo, whose real name is Michael Eugene Archer, rose to stardom in 1995 with his debut album Brown Sugar. His second album, Voodoo, reached #1 on the Billboard R&B chart and earned Grammys for Best R&B Album and Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. D'Angelo was 51 years old. Pop star Shawn Mendes teams up with a Cree singer at his Vancouver concert. We hear from the Alberta singer's family. That's still ahead tonight. Plus, Adam finds out the love story behind a Halloween display celebrating Canada. Next on the Sawatsky Sign Off. Right now, here's a preview of your morning, Vancouver.
We're closely watching the BCGEU strike. Wednesday on Your Morning Vancouver, the latest on whether the two sides are any closer to a deal. Also, is there such thing as being over-insured? A closer look at the various kinds of insurance and how to consider which will work best for you. Plus, a call for volunteers, how you can help this fall's Girl Guide Cookie campaign, and the important program it helps to fund. We'll see you in the morning.
This was the reaction in Cape Verde yesterday as their national soccer team would go on to qualify for its first ever World Cup. The small island nation off the coast of West Africa with a population of just over 500,000 is the second smallest nation behind Iceland to ever qualify for the World Cup. Dogs often chew on things they shouldn't. Unfortunately for one family, their dog's chewing choices sparked a house fire.
He bit into it, and you can see it, he's surprised by it, and then he's like, uh-oh, what did I do?
Video shows the moment after the pipe bites into a lithium-ion battery-powered device. You can see it releasing smoke before the rug catches fire. Luckily, the owners were nearby, and the fire was put out within minutes. The rug will need to be replaced, but the home and the dog are okay.
And luckily, his owner is a firefighter, so that helps.
Okay, that's handy.
Yes.
Very handy. Does Lucy like to chew on things she
chews on her toys, and she knows what she can chew on, what she can't. So that will never happen.
Yeah, she's a smart dog. Okay, big concert over the weekend. Shawn Mendes took over Rogers Arena on Sunday night and put an Indigenous Canadian in the spotlight, bringing her on stage to perform alongside him.
And I want to invite someone very special to stage. Please give it up for Tia Wood, Indigenous artist.
During the Vancouver stop of his On the Road Again tour, Mendes welcomed Cree singer Tia Wood on stage to perform his song Youth. Wood is from Saddle Lake Cree Nation, east of Edmonton. This is the second time the singer has performed at Rogers Arena, the first being at this year's Juno Awards. She added her own verse to the song, blending pop and powwow music together.
Time that my sister has done something huge and something big, you know, our community and our people take a lot of pride in that. They take a lot of pride in seeing one of our own succeed and one of our own doing great things. And like I mentioned, my sister, she is a pioneer and she's a groundbreaker in her own right.
Her sister adds the performance was meaningful to many Indigenous people. Wood has a new single dropping this Friday.
Wow.
They sound great together.
Amazing, yeah.
Awesome performance. Okay, have you guys ever been to I know you were in Europe this past summer.
Yeah.
Some countries, there are tons of cats.
Yes.
You've noticed that,
Turkey,
right?
I was just there.
Yeah, Greece too. Well, the small island nation of Cyprus has become overrun with feral cats. Oh my.
Wow.
Officials say an estimated 1 million cats are prowling the streets, roughly the equivalent of one feline counterpart for each human resident. And because cats are predatory, there are concerns they could wreak havoc on the island's ecosystem. Activists say conservationist teams are needed to more effectively round up the strays, especially females, so they can be spayed.
They sure do need to be spayed and neutered.
But they probably don't have a lot of mice there.
No.
Okay, it wasn't just ferry traffic making waves in Horseshoe Bay this Thanksgiving. A trio of humpback whales stopped for a rare visit. A passenger on the 1230 sailing from Bowen Island captured video of the whales surfacing right beside the boat. BC Ferries briefly delayed the next sailing to give the whales time to safely move through the bay. Marine experts say the humpbacks were likely foraging ahead of their migration south.
Wow.
That's awesome when you can see. You're still waiting for that sighting.
One day.
Okay, we're going to get to Sawatsky's sign off in just a minute. Craig, what's coming up tonight at 11?
So, Mijung, we have a few stories that are developing right now, including something in Kelowna. I just got off the phone with the operations manager, and it appears their PA system and information screens were hacked with pro-Hamas messaging. We'll have the latest on this and how it's impacting the airport operations tonight. Also, we are following the latest in the Yaletown stabbing. Tamara Hamlin now faces an assault charge days after reports of stabbings near David Lamb Park. Our Dimitra Maragos is at the community safety meeting right now as the neighborhood grapples with the recent incident. Also tonight, we will have reaction from the scene of a crash in Vancouver that sent a woman pushing a stroller to hospital. This and more, all tonight at 11:30. Mijung?
Okay, busy night for you, Craig.
Yes.
Thank you. Finally, Adam checks out a woman's front yard Halloween display celebrating her favorite day with a patriotic message on tonight's Sawatsky sign-off.
Stephanie Roy is preparing for her most wonderful time of the year.
I would actually put up a Halloween Christmas tree if that was just me.
But there's David, who Stephanie started dating despite their one major difference.
I am the queen of Halloween and he is the king of Christmas.
But that didn't stop David from setting up the lights to showcase her ever-changing Halloween displays, which range from skeletons cast as cowboys round the campfire to Jimmy Buffett performing Margaritaville.
He just loves to see the weird things that come out of my head.
Loves her so much he agreed to dress up as a zombie cowboy. That year she decided to be a zombie bride.
And I said, well, I'm never going to get married, so this will be my only wedding dress.
So you can imagine how surprised Stephanie was to find out David had spent almost a year planning the perfect proposal.
All of our friends are like, oh.
Which was followed by celebrating the Halloween after their wedding with an I Do display.
As presents now, most girls get, flowers, jewelry. I get skeletons.
And this Halloween, Stephanie is bending those skeletons' elbows up.
I've kind of thought about all of the things that make Canada, Canada.
She started creating a true North Strong display with a moose and a Mountie before staging the skeletons in a game of shinny hockey.
As you can see, we have game on, we have carved.
And instead of playing with any old puck, we have the skeletons shooting one particular pumpkin.
We have a Trumpkin.
While a president and a prime minister are looking to score political points in a trade war, with this display, the Queen of Halloween and the King of Christmas are proving that we can respect our differences and find creative common ground.
He's turning to the dark side, and I have swayed to the Christmas. I like the Grinch.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Mill Bay.
So great.
So much work to put all that together. I can't imagine their whole month of October consumed.
All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot. A gorgeous shot from the North Island. Thanks, Steve, for sending this one in. And you can email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca with your photo.
Yeah, North Island is spectacular. Thanks for joining us tonight.